It's December 27th, 1999, and I'm interviewing my grandfather, Papa. And what can you tell us about 1999?
Oh, you're interviewing Papa now, huh? What, 1999? You want to know what can I tell you about 1999? I'm very fortunate to be here. I'm very happy to be here. I didn't think this time last year I would be here for 1999. But I seem to be holding my own pretty well as far as my health goes. And 1999 was well, we called 1999 the winter of our discontent, really, because we couldn't do anything because Mama was sick. She had to have surgery in January. It took her 3 months to recover. She had bladder problems, and my breathing problems weren't too good at that time, so consequently we pretty much spent the winter in the house in 1999. But we were able to plant a little garden, or I was able to plant a little garden, onions, some lettuce, and some peppers, and some tomatoes. We had our asparagus, which we cut and ate for about 6 weeks, I think, was real good. And let's see, 1999, I don't know whether we took any trips any place or not. The biggest treat for us in 1999, however, was our family reunion that we had in Emerald Isle, North Carolina. And all of our family, with the exception of 3, were there. We spent a week in we had 4 condos there. We were right on the beach. We ate out several nights, and each family prepared food. And we all congregated in one condo or the other. So that was probably my biggest thrill and biggest satisfaction in 1999 until, this was in August, until we got to September the 4th, 1999. And that was the day that Mama and I celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. And all the children prepared a anniversary reception for us at the Senior Citizen Building here in Ravenswood. And Chris was kind of the backbone and the organizer of it. She took care of most everything and had it all set up and everything. And was open house invitation. I think we had about 100, 110 came and had a real enjoyable Sunday afternoon from 3 o'clock until 5 o'clock. And that brings us into September, and we were going to go to Virginia Beach for a Army reunion, but a Hurricane Floyd hit about that time. We got as far as Charlottesville, and we called Virginia Beach the next morning, and they told us not to come because conditions weren't conducive for people to come to that area. So we turned around from Charlottesville and came on back home. We did stop in Lewisburg, West Virginia, and drove around the osteopathic hospital there, and we recalled that that's where your daddy went to school his last 2 years at the Greenbrier Military School there, which does not exist anymore. We went in some antique shops there and spent a couple, 3 hours and came on home. Now, 1999, I guess, to recap the year real quick, we get into Thanksgiving, which Chris had all of us at her house. And then, we got to back up. We did make a trip up to Pat's at Martinsburg. Visited up there for a couple, 3 days and babysat for them, and then came back to Clarksburg and watched Tom play 3 games of soccer. They were They were Eastern Division champions in the 8 to 10-year-old group, I think, in the Martinsburg area, and they got to compete against 8 teams in Clarksburg. And Thomas goalie, he was great. They didn't win any games, but they tied one and lost 2 real close games. And then that brings us probably into Christmas time, where we started out Christmas a week early, I guess. Probably a month early, because I got all the lights up outside back when the weather was nice and warm. I was able to do it all myself. Last year I had to get Trent to help me do it. And then we got to Chris helped us get the Christmas tree down and put it up, and then Mama decorated the tree. And then Pat and Lee and Tom and Will came to see us the week before Christmas and spent one day, and that was the prelude to Christmas Day. And then we had Trent and his family from Cincinnati came in, and we all went over to Chris's and ate the day after Christmas. And Bill and Kelly, and your name's Will, and then we came in for Christmas. Now, so we're sitting here trying to recap that real fast. I can't remember any more, Will. Is that all you want to ask me? Now, wait a minute. You want to ask me some more questions?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
What is your life like today?
My life like today? Oh, that would be kind of hard to give you an answer in one sentence. You said you want one sentence?
No.
Would that make any difference? Oh, my life is real. It's pretty much a happy life right now. I live from day to day and enjoy each day as it goes by. Try to get out and have lunch with some of my friends each day at noon, and then a couple, 3 days a week we congregate for happy hour at some of my other friends. And Mama and I travel to Parkersburg or Charleston to see a movie once in a while, and go out and eat. We like to go out and eat. And considering everything, I guess our health is the most is the thing probably we have to be most thankful for right now. Plus a great family that we love so much, and they treat us so nicely. And I forgot you to bring up that computer, didn't I? For that gift we got for Christmas, didn't I?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that. Well, you could get to that. But that about sums up our life today. We don't have any. I don't have any commitments, which might be good and it might be bad. I don't know, but I have a commitment to God to love my Savior. I like to. Well, in fact, I know when I go to church each Sunday that my life is more fulfilled, and it makes me think more of how we've been blessed, not only family-wise, but health-wise, and with all the little things that I guess go to make up a happy life. That ought to pretty well sum my life up, Will. You don't have any more questions, do you?
There's a whole page of them.
Oh, page of them. Well, I'm getting tired of talking. I'll have to have a glass of water.
What things do you like the most?
Huh?
What things do you like the most?
What thing do I like the most? What thing do I like the most? Define things. Can you tell me what thing?
I should. Daddy, since this is Christmas, and we just had Christmas 2 days ago, when you think back over the past 75 years, is there any particular Christmas that you remember more than others?
Any one particular Christmas I remember more than others? Not really when I was growing up, but I do remember one Christmas that my brother and I both got sleds for Christmas, and it just so happens that I guess we thought there was a Santa Claus, but when we found out these sleds, it actually came out of our hardware store, and we put under the Christmas tree the next morning, and we kind of figured, well, something's kind of fluey about that. And but anyway, that was a great Christmas.
About how old were you when you found out there
I
was a
think we
Santa
must
Claus?
have been 8 or 9 years old, somewhere along there. And then, of course, Christmas is back in those times. Probably we don't we think differently, but it seems to me like we always had a white Christmas. There was snow on the ground, and we could sleigh ride in the streets, and today we don't seem to be that much snow around. Now, the Christmases that I remember, not one in particular, but when you guys were growing up, whether we were down at the old house or up here, or probably mainly down at the old house, I guess I got the biggest kick out of maybe hanging the sheets up over the door so you guys couldn't get in to get the presents, you know, until your mother had breakfast and all done, got the dishes all washed, and everybody go in. And
I remember you had the door tied shut, didn't you?
well, one time in the old house down there, we tied the door shut, you know, so we couldn't get in. I don't know what that Christmas was, but
I remember one Christmas I remember is where we got in there, and when we got in there, the train was already running around the tree.
yeah.
There was a train in there that you had around the tree running. That
One
was
other Christmas I remember, which was, well, it was kind of funny in a way. It was when we were up here, and you know, Benny was wanting a bicycle that Christmas, and he comes in and there's no bicycle under the Christmas tree, and he was really upset, you know. Happened to open the side door out here, and here's a bicycle sitting down on the porch. Made him real happy, you know. And that thing. I don't know how old he was then, but that was a Christmas that he remembered, I'm sure. Then, you know, a lot of other Christmases I remember kind of distinctly in a way is after the grandkids started coming here, and how y'all would come and set everything up right before Christmas under the tree, you know, and everything. And we had Christmas presents stacked to the ceiling almost. Nobody could get into them. But I don't think there's any one particular one that I could pick out and say this is better than any of the others.
When you were small, what kind of presents did you get? You mentioned you got a sled one Christmas, but can you remember any of the other presents that you got?
I can't remember. I remember I got a toy truck. I believe it was an oil truck like they had today, but it was a different type of design on it. It was, can't even remember who made that. And then, let's see, any other presents I got that I can remember.
How many presents
I think
did you
it-
get when you were growing up? Like 2 or 3 or a
Well,
dozen or 2 dozen?
we get 3 or 4 probably, something like that. We always had our we always had our stockings hung, you know, and we'd get fruit and fruit and candy. And then while we were still believing in Santa Claus, Mother, she'd say, well, now we'll just leave these, we'll hang these stocks up again for New Year, and maybe old Santa's helpers will still come around to see you. And we'd hang them up for New Year's, and we'd end up getting some more candy in the stockings for New Year's Day. We found out that was, you know, kind of a hoax or something on it. But we'd get some books, reading books, I think. In fact, I've got a book that I'll show you if I can remember. I think getting that one at Christmas time. I think it's called the Balloon Man, and I'm not sure. I think I got it for Christmas. I'll show it to you before you leave. But I don't remember any real particular items. Like I think I did get a pocket knife one year that I was real happy to get. But never did get a gun for Christmas. And, I didn't want one really, but I'd never get any for Christmas.
Well, since we're talking about when you were a child, what was it like growing up in you were born in 1924, and probably, I don't know how old you were with your earliest memories, maybe 5, 6, 7, but what did you do for fun in the 30s? Of course, that was right during the Depression, but you know, as far as games, did you watch TV? You know, what kind of stuff?
Oh, you know, we didn't have any television then. We had radio. And, the first thing we listened to on the radio were programs like Amos and Andy, and of course I can remember listening to the first World Series in 1932, I think, or 1933, between the Philadelphia Athletics and I think maybe the New York Giants or somebody had on the radio then. I don't know who the announcers were, but and of course when I was 10 years old, 1934, I can remember that World Series and tell you today who played on both teams.
What year was that?
1934, when I was 10 years old. You say. We listened to that on the radio when I was going to school, because I probably told you this before. Our principal was he was a left-handed pitcher, and at the recess, that's all we did. We'd go out and play baseball. The recess with a tennis ball, you know. And when the World Series time came, he says, "We're not going to have a class this afternoon. We're going to listen to World Series." So we listened to World Series. And that's how we got started into listening to baseball.